Is the Walther PDP the most underrated duty style pistol on the market right now? Let's talk about it. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's another video. Today we're doing a deep dive into the Walther PDP. I've had this pistol for about a year and a half now. My thoughts and how it stacks up to other similar striker-fired pistols on the market right now. So to give you guys a background, if you don't already know, this model specifically, mine is the 5-inch polymer frame, full size. So it's got the full size grip. It comes with obviously the 5-inch barrel. The magazines it takes are the 18. This one has a Floyd's extended base plate on it. Full dust cover. All the tricks comes optics ready from Walther. The MSRP I paid at the time, I got this for a deal actually. It did come with the Holosun, sitting on a C&H precision plate, just an RMR plate because this is an RMR footprint. I think I paid, I want to say like $650, $700 after the transfer fee to my local FFL. So it was a pretty great deal. This is kind of what got me into this pistol in the first place, is because I knew once I bought a PDP, I would want to put a dot on it. And you know, this isn't the best dot in the world, but gets the job done. So the first main thing I did want to talk about in regards to the PDP is the overall ergonomics, right? And this is the number one thing you hear when you're looking at a PDP review. Fits in the hand very well. The grip angle is very, very nice. I feel like it's a very natural point of aim. As soon as I get a good purchase on that, I feel like as soon as I bring this up to my eye, the dot's right there. Really no issue with finding the dot or having to, like, you know, break your wrist trying to find it, push it down, anything that's unnatural. It's a very, very natural shooting platform. On top of that, the texture, they come stock from the factory. It's called their performance duty texture, and it's almost these raised, it's almost like a raised hexagon, if you can imagine, like a hexagon, kind of like a pyramid type of shape. So it provides enough grip for your hand to feel like it's not going to slip, but it's not going to be poking into you if you do want to carry this concealed. It's not going to irritate your skin or anything like that. Almost feels like your hand just kind of mates with the gun perfectly. And it's even got these grooves on the actual frame itself, kind of indexed with your fingers, so you feel like you can really, really get a solid purchase on there. Also comes with the higher undercut trigger. Really fits up nice in there. Contours well to your hand. The other thing I wanted to point out is the magazine release button. It is kind of shielded by the frame, if you can kind of see there. So, you know, when you're shooting with this, if you have any kind of weird hand placement, you really have to be trying pretty hard to hit that magazine release button if you don't intend to. And I feel like it's very easy to reach with your thumb. Like if you're just shooting and you need to reload, like I feel like with my Glocks or anything like that, I have to break my grip. You don't have to break your grip at all. It's literally just right there and the mag will drop free, which is super, super nice. Obviously, like any modern, you know, polymer strike-fired gun, the back straps are swappable. There's a lot of options on the market outside of what's included in the box. I think there's 3 different sizes: small, medium, large. I've got the small one on here. This is kind of something I've been running recently. I usually have the medium or large, but I felt like as of recent, the smaller size back strap is really just feels more comfortable in my hand. So I'm just giving that a shot. Maybe I'll switch back to the medium. I also have a lock grips, brass one, but I feel like the lighter the frame is, the better. So kind of straight away from that. All right, outside of ergonomics, the big thing that you hear about Walthers is the trigger, right? And I absolutely love the trigger in this firearm. From my experience, I haven't owned anything, again, but like Glocks, Canics, and now Walthers. Personally, I've shot other guns, but that's what I've owned. This is hands down the best trigger. And this isn't even the DPT. This is the PDT. Oh my gosh, a lot of acronyms. This is the performance duty trigger, and the take up and the break on this gun, the specific trigger, is fantastic. I mean, you've got a clear defined wall. Once you hit that wall, it just goes, and the reset is very, very minimal. Now, there's a lot of better videos out there that kind of go over the trigger itself. I'm not going to do a close-up. I don't have a trigger gauge or anything like that, unfortunately. But there's a lot of videos that go over that information. I mean, but seriously, this is... I'm at a loss for words how good this trigger is. It's really, really great. I know we kind of briefly touched on it already, but it is optics ready from the factory. You buy the obviously the handgun, and then it doesn't come with the plates, which is unfortunate, but you can buy them from Walther, C&H Precision. I know there's a handful out there that make the plates and the shrouds too for like the 507 Comp or the Vortex XL, those kind of things. So there's a lot of options out there for plates that aren't the OEM Walther plates. Again, it all depends on the optic you're running. The plates, the availability of plates is really out there, and there's a lot of available options. All right, the iron sights. So the irons do take a Glock style dovetail. So I haven't swapped mine out because I really just use my red dot, but those are the stock ones, just the two rearward dots and the one in the front. These don't truly co-witness with my optic, just kind of unfortunate. But again, I don't really rely on iron sights at all, so it doesn't really bother me. But if you guys want to swap them at any point in time, they do just take Glock, which makes it really easy because Glock is the aftermarket king. So yeah, anything that you want on the aftermarket that's Glock related, you'll find it super easily. And yeah, just as easy as swapping the front and the rear, and you're good to go. All right, the next topic I wanted to touch on was kind of accuracy and shooting performance. So my experience is a little bit different compared to stock Walther, because I have had some work done. I have some aftermarket parts in here that make the recoil a little bit softer shooting. So the first kind of upgrade to that is I have an inline 7 port done, so it's ported, which obviously helps with that recoil a little bit. And then I also do have an aftermarket spring in here. Like a lot of people say and have said about Walthers, that they are oversprung from the factory guide rod. I think it's a polymer one. It's just, I think it's like an 18-pound spring, which is kind of crazy. It's overkill, which does result in the snappier feel. And I've swapped between the one I have in here now and the stock one, and it is definitely considerable, even with the porting. So I feel like that's kind of the number one upgrade I would do when buying a Walther PDP brand new to the platform. I know there's a lot of springs out there on the market, and I don't have experience with all of them, but there is a lot. So do your research. Well, there's like the long stroke V-Spec now. There's just a bunch out there that ZR Tactical offers. So kind of carrying on with the accuracy and kind of shooting impressions, this gun is grouped extremely well for me. It's been extremely accurate. Any kind of ammo that I put through it has run flawlessly. There has been a couple of issues though, and the issues that I will address in this video particularly, because I'm just doing a review basically, came with the actual magazine springs themselves. So on both of the factory magazines that came included, I bought Floyd's base plates, which are a +3 extension. And I don't know if maybe I read it wrong. It said you didn't need to swap the spring. Again, don't come for me. It could be a very well possibility that I just missed that and that was on me. But I was running the +3 extension with the factory spring and follower. And I had some failure feeds, failure extracts, kind of just things like that. And I did some digging on Reddit, on the internet, and people were kind of running the same issue. Originally, I thought maybe it had something to do with the porting or the aftermarket spring and guide rod that I bought, but turns out that I just needed a more powerful spring. And I want to say I bought the aftermarket spring, like a 3-pack from Ghost Precision. I can't quite remember. This has been, again, about a year and a half ago since I bought the springs. But there's a lot of people who offer the extended springs or the more powerful springs. I know ZR Tactical does for sure. So just check it out, and if you guys are looking to get like a +3 extension from Floyd's or ZR Tactical or Taylor Freelance or whoever you get, I would just recommend to just buy that spring straight out. I know some do come with the extended spring when you buy the actual mag extension itself, but these did not. So just make sure you don't run into the same thing I did. It was a 9-day difference. I've had 0 failures since then. The next thing I wanted to touch on was concealability and practical use for the Walther PDP. Now, you guys might think I'm kind of crazy, but I do like to conceal as big of a gun as I can. That just comes down to my personal preference. I'm the most comfortable with a bigger gun. I just feel like I shoot better with a bigger gun. Nothing against compact or subcompact guns if you carry one. It's just my personal preference. So I feel like this conceals pretty easily for me. I'm a bigger guy. I'm about 6'4", like 240. So I can conceal this a little bit easier on my frame. Obviously, it's not going to be as comfortable as carrying a subcompact or compact, but you make it work. But for people that maybe are looking at a 5-inch, 4 1/4, 4-inch, whatever model you're looking at for a PDP, I feel like this is a great home defense gun. Or gun to have a duty setup, again, like if you are running a belt, maybe even competitions. A lot of people shoot competitions with Walthers in general. So many models on the market now, much more than when I bought this one originally. You've got like the steel frame, you've got the carry comp editions, you've got just so many iterations that will kind of fit your needs and wants. So kind of whatever you're looking for in the market, if you're looking for, again, a concealed carry, like a nighttime bedside gun, home defense, duty, the PDP line really has anything to fit your needs. So I would just kind of take a look. But if you guys are looking at the 5-inch, I think it's best suited for home defense. If you're willing to conceal a 5-inch, and duty, I'd say I'd recommend for those. Maybe even competition if you're into that. Again, as far as trusting this gun and thinking it's reliable, it's as reliable as my Glock. Other than the spring issues with the magazines, I've had zero issues with this gun. Again, it's ported, upgrades that aren't stock. They haven't affected the reliability at all. I would trust my life with it. I carry it, so it's very reliable, it's robust, and it's a super solid platform. All right, so just rattling off some quick pros and cons as we wrap up this video. Definitely the number one thing that I like about the PDP as a platform is the excellent trigger. Another good pro is obviously the ergonomics, like we talked about, the grip, the undercut. Those little aspects that, oftentimes overlooked with some handguns. The Walther just hits it out of the park with those. Ambi everything, swappable mag release. I mean, what more could you ask for? Also, the availability of being optics ready is a serious plus. I know a lot of guns are coming out nowadays and they are optics ready, but the availability of the plates makes it super easy for whatever optic you're wanting to run on the PDP. Just available in there if you wanted to run a red dot. Kind of the last pro that I'll go over in this video. Obviously, this list isn't all of them, but just the reliability and the soft shootingness of the Walther. From the factory, they like to shoot this gun and automatically deem it snappy. I can understand that, but if you just put in the time to train with this, maybe do a couple tweaks with the spring and the guide rod, maybe get it ported, just work on a couple things, improve your grip, this will become one of your favorites. No doubts about it. Okay, now onto the con side. It is a little bit larger and heavier for a pistol, depending on what your needs are. If you're wanting to carry this for duty, competition, that kind of style, easy go-to, you'll gravitate towards this. If you're looking for strictly something that you can carry inside the waistband, it depends on who you are, but if you're willing to carry a 5-inch, it's a little bit bulky, a little bit on the heavier side. And probably the biggest gripe, it's getting better, but it's not quite there, is just the aftermarket support compared to other platforms, right? So like SIG's got a lot of, module support with, aftermarket frames, slides, everything like that. And obviously Glock, like I said before in the video, they are the aftermarket king. No one's ever going to really top Glock. They've just been around for too long, and they've got so many players making clones, making aftermarket barrels, slides, frames. You got the Ruger RXM, but it's changing the game with their chassis systems. It's a newer pistol. It's still in the relatively early ages. It'll get there eventually, but just right now, the aftermarket support isn't as available as some other platforms on the market. All right, so final thoughts. Just kind of wrapping this video up. Is it worth it for the price? I absolutely believe that this gun is worth it for the price, hands down. One of the biggest bargains on the market. Again, retail, you could go out and buy a polymer frame, 5-inch, 4.25. I've seen them for under $600, maybe even under $550 at times, depending on sales. Yeah, I think it's absolutely worth it for the money. Now, who's this gun for, right? So we talked about this briefly. Competition shooter, if you're just somebody who's conscious of their safety, wants to carry this every day. Duty, home defense. I think, again, Walther has so many different variations of their pistol out there. You really can't go wrong. Just do your own research. 99% of the pistols are going to be very similar to the one I have right in front of me with regards to the trigger, the ergonomics, the feel, the optics compatibility, all that stuff. I'm just making this video strictly because I have this gun right in front of me. But I think there's a PDP model out there for everyone who's got their kind of set of standards or wants this to fit into a particular niche. Again, whether that's home defense, EDC, duty, there's something out there that's for everybody. Kind of last question I wanted to throw out there. Would I buy this gun again? Would I buy another PDP? The answer is yes, absolutely. There's already a couple PDPs out there that they've released recently that I'm itching to grab. I'm always wanting to continue to buy upgrades for this, try new things, try new dots, etc. So I would absolutely, with no hesitation, buy another PDP in the future. Again, just considering the reliability and all the things we talked about, it's a fantastic platform. So highly, highly recommend. And I feel like I will be buying one again here in the near future. Again, just my thoughts on the Walther PDP. If you guys have any experience with the PDP, or maybe there's a favorite handgun out there that you've got, let me know in the comments below. Again, like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. Support means the world to me. Again, share this with a friend. Do whatever you got to do. Those are my thoughts on the Walther PDP. Let me know your thoughts below. All right, guys, I will see you on the next one. Peace.